My name is Blair Bunting, and I take pictures for a living. I'm shooting a Super Bowl commercial with National Bank of Arizona. The project is actually an idea that Pete came up with, who's the creative director at Lane Terrorlever.
The parallax effect, what makes it unique and really intriguing is it's a high-resolution photograph, no blur, but then you're also being able to add that motion to it, so it's just something that's really arresting.
When you're at a school play and you want to make that boat look like it's on water, you have that water right here that moves this way and the other person's pushing the water right there and they go like this. What parallaxing will do is bring life into an object that didn't have it.
When we were looking at the whole idea of doing the parallax scene, I couldn't think of another photographer I'd want to work with. Number one, he's extremely talented. His control of lighting, his composition, the movement and that sort of thing is just sort of perfect.
Going into this, I had no idea what it was, which makes it all the better for them to choose me, the guy that has never done this or has any clue what it is. The problem with the Page Springs shoot was probably because we were there about 4 months late. There were no grapes, there weren't even leaves. I believe the first snow came in 3 days after we left. There are so many spiders. I don't have a fear of bears. I have a healthy bear trap. I have a healthy with the B1s. Pro Photo had gotten them to me about 3 days before we started shooting, so it was kind of a learning curve. We needed to have everything very sharp, very crisp. The main thing we knew we'd need is we need depth, we need frozen subjects so we didn't have any blur, and we needed to actually be able to shoot it to where we didn't have too much noise.
Oh, this sucks.
Further up, so.
3. Hey, that wasn't bad, man. Don't worry about it. And I can't have a stressed out dirt guy.
We shot Eric, who is the owner and CEO of the vineyard, next to a stream drinking wine.
Where's my 2470?
I'm going manual focus. It was a very peaceful shot because you had light casting through this dusk.
Hold up. You're pouring all over my white shoes, sir. Yeah, I'm not pouring it. Okay. How'd you get it on me?
As I was kind of thinking could happen and did happen, we more or less just went there, set up, and then had charcuterie boards and wine for the 3 hours in between setup and the actual shot. It's a great day, actually. I'd love to do it again. Today we are shooting the second part of this 5-part series. Okay, we started with that. Okay. And the final. No Photoshop, just straight out of camera. I'm not seeing this be too hard, which is like the worst thing to say. It's gonna be a nightmare. Did you guys break my umbrella the first time we used it? So would she be the prima donna?
Prima ballerina is what you're thinking
Oh,
of.
I was Will in Oklahoma, okay? I know how it is to be the second best. We had to think what lenses we were gonna use. It was gonna be a very specific commercial for shallow depth of field. 58-1.4 was pretty much the lens. It produces a 3D effect, especially when shot wide open, that really stands out. There's a lot of lenses that you can get that have a shallow depth of field, that have a good background blur, but actually to get the depth out of that lens, the feel that you're actually looking at a subject that has form in that three-dimensional feel is unique. Some situations like the ballet dancer and then the instructor teaching the students, we needed that shot to actually be shot pretty dark with just very minimal light, and so Nikon D4S was the only option. It's just the Super Bowl, no one watches it. Our end product was a 4K resolution commercial, and 4K resolution is really only just over 8 megapixels, and Nikon D4S is 16 point something, and is able to deliver exactly what we needed, the sharpness and the lowest noise that we could possibly get, and a good dynamic range. Who's not pointing their toes? Is that like the sin of ballet, not to point your toes?
Oh, that hurts.
That could be a new ad for them.
Wow, I look great.
I just put the Pro Photos on automatic and I shot burst. Burst existed kind of twofold because some of it was used to capture the moment and the others was to tell, the other shots were to tell myself, my retouchers, and my post-production company where the shot was going.
Okay, one.
Because this is a still shot, motion must exist, so in order to make it true, you've got to know what follows the frame that you see.
Okay.
And for that, shooting burst was the only thing we could do. SPOFIT. It's a gym for people with disabilities. What's really kind of special about it is they help rehabilitate and empower a lot of people. They also help out a lot with the Wounded Warrior Foundation and a lot of veterans that come home injured.
Okay, you guys are good.
We went to their gym and we photographed a number of kids playing wheelchair basketball with chairs that were donated by the K2 Foundation.
I'll be honest, I've seen better days.
I didn't actually know all that much about it until I got there, and only to realize that we had actually shot a campaign to help them raise awareness and money for it. It was special to actually find that out and see that some of the stuff that we've done has actually gone to help make other people's lives better. These kids were really ridiculously awesome, and I learned very quickly that I suck at basketball.
Okay, your eyes are looking a little bit more towards center.
What we ended up doing was having a number of kids play basketball and just kind of schemed an idea of what kind of action and what would lead its way to an artistic looking shot with parallax, and we came up with a jump ball, and it worked out brilliantly. I can't take credit for it. Like all these kind of shots, we more or less let the subject tell us what they enjoyed most or what they felt could work, and then we worked together with them, and it worked out beautifully. After that, we photographed a salvage yard.
The most unique shot for me was the recycling plant, and I know it seems like an odd one. It was just really eye-opening for me to see all the things that they're doing to make sure that those parts don't end up in a landfill and don't go to waste.
They had a crane that tears apart cars, which could be the actual coolest thing ever.
Blair's gonna donate his car for this one.
Exactly. For the commercial, the subjects in the photo had to be crisp. They had to be sharp. We needed to shoot faster than the 250th that you regularly get allotted for the regular strobe. With ProPhoto, the B1s, we had that luxury of going into the high-speed sync. We ended up using it on 4 of the 7 shots. Not to mention they also benefited from us being able to get them into random locations, like in the middle of the woods where we actually photographed the guy drinking the wine.
I want one of those. I just want to go up in the bucket. Okay. Wow, that's really up here. Oh my gosh. Right about here's good.
I don't know if it was necessarily hard to control the crane that crashes the car. It's more hard to control the child that is within, because I had to keep in mind that there are people there watching this. I was wanting to make sure that I didn't accidentally throw the car into all of my assistants and crew. Every single conversation I have over the next 2 weeks will begin with, I tore apart some 93 sedan. How was your week? Further down, that's how we do it. Oh, the one thing I will say. Hey, turn your headphones off on this one, man.
Dial back the crazy on me a little bit. I need to do a shoot. Well, that's just fun. Someone made that font and they're like, this is gonna be awesome. And then they made this font and they're like, I like this one better, but we just need both. This one's a deeper grip than normal. That was something that when Nikon and I talked, we were as adamant about using it because I shoot it usually like a medium format. So I actually pop the screen out and then shoot it with my thumb.
From there, we'll just kind of see what we need. You're pouring it from one hand to the other.
3. Perfect.
Hold it there.
3.
Perfect.
I love the tractor in the background. I always wanted the tractor.
Perfect. Here's my dreams, and I'm just going to be crushed like this alfalfa plant that I'm actually standing on.
We'll get out there with the tractor and see what happens. Last time I said that, you know, only one person got killed. We're fine.
Yeah. Oh, Pete, this is another fun one.
I'm sold. I'll take a tractor now too.
The very first time I shot at 1/4000th of a second, I expected it not to work. It's just not in a photographer's logic. 1/250th or even 1/200th, depending on the camera we use, has always been an industry standard that we know and we live by. But now we're able to hop up in a 1/4000th, and I've been able to produce images that I was very happy with at, you know, f1.4 in the middle of the day. It's kind of a new boundary that I think I'll have to actually learn more. I believe that this career is always about wanting to learn more, and I definitely do on this situation. I want to know more about how it works, and I need to practice with it, but I do believe that there's doors that can be opened going into those kind of higher ranges that weren't before, and not just, you know, being able to shoot outside with shallower depth of field without, you know, having to flag off a set. But I believe there's avenues that can be experienced that we can actually utilize and produce products that haven't been seen before because of it.